It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and it's day 14, December the 14th for that Brewers Advent Calendar. The 13 previous days have been really good. Really enjoyed this series. Again, I mention it every time. Hope you're not getting too bored of it, but it just sends me out of my comfort zone reviewing beer because I don't know what glass I'm going to use, what style of beer I'm going to get. It's all a bit of a mystery for you and for me. Right, so day 14. Opening the door. What is this? This is Kauzen, German Pilsner style. Feinst Bayerisch beer since 1809. Don't you just love German brewing heritage? The fact that most of these breweries go back hundreds of years, I think it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Such a great brewing tradition in Germany. 4.8% ABV, brewed and owned by Kauzen Brau, Uschfurt in Germany. 500ml can. Let's get this can out into a glass, see what we get. I've got a Pilsner glass here. I generally, because I've had so many, I've had quite a few Helles lagers, a few Pilsners, and a couple of Weizens. So I go for the tall. I have a guess at the glass, so I put a tall kind of glass next to me. I had a 70% knowing what I'm going to get. So beer in the glass, and it's looking rather lovely. Good levels of quite even carbonation. A nice, beautiful, light, amber, clear, golden coloured beer. Looks like this one isn't. Oh, actually, no. I have a close look whether the camera's picking that up. If you have a look at this side of the glass here, see the carbonation making its way up that side of the glass, but on this side of the glass, my right, you can see the sediment making its way back down. We got a 3 to 4 finger white head then. Looks rather spectacular for a Pilsner. Let's hope it's really good. We'll explain the difference between Helles Lager and Pilsner in a bit. But first of all, I want to get the aroma on this beer. Smells good. Smells really good. A nice zestiness coming through, like a bitter lemon with that kind of classic German stinging nettle hop aroma with some peppers and spices to throw in the mix. Oh, it smells so inviting. Just one of those beers you really just want to kind of crack into. Get your gums round it. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Oh. Extremely drinkable. Getting the rest of the beer in the glass. An extremely drinkable, lovely. There's a nice dryness on the back end, actually. I was just kind of like in the moment there thinking about just how drinkable and refreshing it is. But after a few seconds after you've swallowed the beer, you're left with a dryness, like a dry white wine feeling on the palate. on the inside of the mouth. The carbonation pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. It's got a nice, crisp malt beginning. I'd say this was an all malt Pilsner style lager. A little bit of sweetness to kind of counteract that bitterness from the Pilsner. I'm going to begin to now talk to you about the balance of the beer and the difference between this and a Helles lager, because some of you, I know you're following this because I've read your previous comments on these boxes of beer, or on this advent calendar, should I say. And some of you have asked the difference between Helles lager and Pilsner. So I will explain the difference between Helles lager and Pilsner. Now, I'm getting a lovely bit of sweetness from this beer to begin with, from the malt. But on the back end, it's slightly more hoppy, slightly more bitter, slightly more dry. I like it. It kind of, in historical terms, this Pilsner style lager, more or less kind of blew the Dortmunder export style of beer out the water that was being brewed by German brewers around the kind of Hamburg, south of Hamburg area, the region below Hamburg. They were brewing a lot of, well, I suppose that's Dortmund, isn't it? The Dortmund area of Germany was producing this massive export style of beer that was, well, exported all over the world, very popular, quite malty. And your small upstarts back then, like your Kronbackers, were producing Pilsners, and these people did nothing about it. These big export breweries did nothing about it. A little bit like the regional breweries today in the UK, where they're very, very late to the game to IPA. Like, lots of upstart breweries are brewing IPAs and New England IPAs and stouts and porters. And the old guard, the Marstons and your Badgers and stuff, they're kind of like looking up at the clouds, you know, not doing anything, just raking the profits in. But what happens is these upstart breweries come and take their lunch eventually, and before they know it, it's too late. This is exactly what happened with Pilsner and the export, the Dortmunder export, 200 years ago. The Pilsner style now is synonymous with German beer, isn't it? It's, well, Czech Republic, I suppose, as well. But now there's a change again. For me, 2021 has been the year of the Helles lager. Now, the Helles lager is different from the Pilsner in that it has that sweetness to begin with, but it's not as bitter on the back end. It's not quite as bitter. And it gives a little bit more balance. And it gives a little bit more drinkability. I think I could, as long as you get a good one, I think I could drink more Helles lager in a session than I could Pilsner in a session. It's just a little bit more drinkable for my palate personally. But there's a lot of people who kind of agree. In the beer world, of course, the Helles lager is probably, if ever a lager is going to become a really, really popular style again in the craft beer world, then it's probably the Helles lager that's going to do it. So, back to this beer. That was, I hope you got the explanation with the Helles lager and the Pilsner. It's just, it's not as bitter. They haven't added as many hops to the beer. Slightly more balanced. But how do I rate this? Great lacing on the glass, great drinkability, absolutely loving it, to be honest. Little bit of haze in the glass, as you can see, a little bit of sediment rather than haze, I would say. It's a typical German lager that's just very, very good. The thing with German brewing is that, yes, you have the breweries which are well known and sold all around the world, like your Kronbackers, some of your other famous German brewers. But then again, you got small German brewers who've been like, you know, this Kauzen company here that they've been around 100, make that 210 years. 2021, 222 years. 222 years they've been around. No, 212. 212? Yeah, we'll say 212 years they've been brewing. And they're probably just in their element down there, wherever they are in Germany, just kind of like just doing their own thing. And this is the thing with German brewing, is that there's a brewery in every town. There's literally a brewery in every town brewing different beers, and fantastic to see and watch. It really is. But anyway, rating for this lovely Pilsner style lager from Kauzen Bier, Kauzen Brau. Looks good, smells good, tastes good. I like that. For a Pilsner, that's an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!